Hello, 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 my people. Welcome back to week 2. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you all are staying comfortable, wearing what you want, living how you like. Staying safe though. Make sure that you're keeping all your things in line, whatever you need. Well, this week I think we're going to just cover two-way frequency tables one more time. Just because I want us to be able to really understand it. This is kind of a important thing to know. And I think I probably just need one tool. I don't have my calculator, i.e. my phone. Let me just grab that. Take this off, just to be a little more professional for you. Two-way frequency tables. These things are cool. They're super helpful. But they're two-way because you can read them one way and you can read them another way. So that's two different ways you can read them. So you'll notice that there's two different tables going on right now. That's because the second one is going to be a conditional, and it's going to be based on probabilities. And we do probabilities or percentages with decimals. It's like a quicker way of writing a percentage, but we'll get to that in a second. All right, so if you have something like this, a two-way frequency table, and they ask you to complete the table. First, what are these tables telling us about? Let's read, huh? Let's put on our glasses. The students in a seaside school, so maybe Astoria, are to have extra swimming lessons. That makes sense if they can't swim. Because if you're going to be in the ocean, you better know how to swim. The table below gives information about the students in grades 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we know right off the bat that there are 3 different classes and 2 different distinctions, right? We've got swim and can't swim. All right, so first thing we want to do is we need to figure out how many students need swimming lessons. So let's look. Well, if you can swim, you probably don't need swimming lessons. So this column right here is the cannot swim column. So we just add up everything in here, right? 60 students in 7th grade, 11 students in 8th grade, 3 students in 9th grade. How much is that? I can do that in my head. 71, 74. Now, this isn't the total students. It's just the total of students who cannot swim, right? So there's 74 students who cannot swim. Sorry about that form. Looks a little wonky. All right, now, how many students are there in the 8th grade? That, my friends, is reading it the other direction. So we read it one direction, column direction going up and down. Now we're going to read it in the row direction, left to right. So grade 8, let's get rid of that real quick. Do you like red or let's do green. All right, so to get all the 8th graders, we do the 168 who can swim plus the 11 who can't. So that's 179. Didn't we have 74 here? I shouldn't have erased everything. 74 here. Ooh, that's ugly. Who cares? All right, so it's 179 total 8th graders. We can do this for each single one, right? 120 plus 60, 180. Let's just calculate everything. So you can add across. You can also add down. 172 plus 3, 175. Yes, please. And now 120 plus 168 plus 172. I don't want to do that in my head. I could. Know that I could. Trust me, I could. But I'm going to do it on this thing. 120 plus 168 plus 172 equals 460. Now look at this missing total column, or total cell, I guess you could call it a cell, a little box. So this number should be the total amount of students, right? This would be all the students who in each grade. So here's 7th, 8th, 9th, and here's the total students for can and can't swim. This plus this should equal this plus this plus this. This number right here should be the same for both of them. So let's change our color. What's 460 plus 74? I could do that in my head, but I don't want to. 534. Now, what's 180 plus 179 plus 175? Whoa! 534! This is why these columns these two-way tables are so helpful, because a lot of it is logical. We can figure things out quickly. All right. So how many of the 7th grade students can't swim? It's letter D. Now, when I was reading that question, I would first go to 7th grade students. So that's right here, right? So I look at the 7th graders, and then I look to the right. How many cannot swim? 60, right? Because that's in the cannot swim box, or in the cannot swim column. So two-way frequency, oftentimes you can ask really specific questions that ask you to look in two different things, right? All right, so how many of 7th grade students cannot swim? 60. How many students in grades 7 and 8 can swim? So grade 7 and 8 can swim, can swim. So for this one, you would add 120 plus 168. Anyone out there? Oh yeah, please. What is it? Oh, couldn't hear it. Couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, bad connection. Oh yes, you're right. 288. You just add those two together. Now, we already did this, but whatever. So how many students are there in all of those three grades? You just add up 434. This is this column right here, the total amount of people. Now, a two-way relative frequency table for the above data. That's what we're doing over here. So we're making a two-way relative frequency table for the above data. So if we were going to do the amount of how many grade 7s can't swim, you would do 120 divided by your total. That's why I said you get a decimal. And then at the end, you should get a decimal that equals 1.00. Alright, so what's 120 divided by 524? 120 divided by 534, my bad. 0.22. That means that 22% of all the students are 7th graders who can swim. Does that make sense? Okay, so we can do that for each one of these. 60 divided by 534. What's 60 divided by 534? 0.11. 0.11. And then the total just means you could add the two decimals together. So you got 0.33. And we'll check to see what that means here in a sec. All right, so let's keep going. 168 divided by 534. Oh, this is hard to do without a pencil. Oh, you're so lucky if you have a pencil. Do you have a pencil? I wish I had a pencil. All right, 0.31. Now, we're rounding some stuff, so we're going to get some numbers that don't exactly line up, but that's okay. Like, as long as we get close. That's what's weird about math, is you can just, at some point, you just get really close. I mean, kind of. 0.02, so that means that this is also 33. Let's try this one down here. 172 should be probably 5. Dang, aren't you just so happy that I'm doing all this? It really looks good, doesn't it? Now, notice that each denominator is the total from here. I'm just taking the numbers, right? I'm taking 120, and I'm putting it here. I'm putting 540, and I'm putting it there. That's all I'm doing for each one of these. And then fractions are just division things waiting to happen. Division things. Who even is this guy? 0.32. Now look at, we can add up all of these right down the bottom. What do we got? We got 60, 80, 85. Looking good. What's this? 3 divided by, okay. Whoops, what am I doing? 534. 534. It's not as nice a day, is it, today, as it used to be yesterday. So this is 0.01%, so that's 0.33. And then 11 plus 2 plus 1. Well, ain't that close as can be. Now you notice that 0.85 plus 0.14, I'll wait for you to do it on your calculator, is actually 0.99, not 1.00. Same on the total on the column side, 0.33 plus 0.33 plus 0.33. That should maybe jog to your memory 1 divided by 3, 1/3, right? We rounded it. So they're not exactly getting to 1.0. That's okay. It's because we rounded a little bit. Now look at these relative frequencies. These point numbers are actually percentages. So 22%. Remember you move the decimal over twice? Here, I'll change the color real quick. This is 22%. Weep, 1, 2, can barely see it, but who cares? So now we can start looking at some of the stuff. What is the relative frequency of the students who are in 8th grade and cannot swim? 8th grade, cannot swim. 2% of the population is an 8th grader who cannot swim. What about what percentage of 9th graders can swim? So here's 9th graders. Now this is different. What percentage of 9th graders? So one way that we could do this is to take this number and divide it by this number. Or you can take this number and divide it by this number. Because I'm just looking at what percentage of 9th graders. So when they say what percentage of a certain thing, that's when you have to change the denominator. So see how these are percentage of students? The total students is 534. That's why we divided by 534 in each one of these. Now, if it's asking what percentage of 9th graders, then we have to change the denominator. So there's 175 9th graders, right? We counted that up. And whoa, what the heck? 172 can swim. So what's 172 divided by 175? Probably pretty close to 100%. 98. We can even, I'll give it to you, 98.3%. So this is a little bit different than these next questions. I is probably maybe the hardest question because it's asking you to do a relative frequency within, or a conditional frequency. Meaning, if you are dealing with just 9th graders, what percentage of them can swim? Now, J is a little bit easier. What percentage of students cannot swim? So who's cannot swim? Right here, here's the total. 14% of all students cannot swim. I love making these tables because you just have so much information. Now, what percentage of students are 9th graders? I just go to 9th graders, go to its total, 33%. A third of the class is 9th graders. All right. That's pretty much it. Like, I want you to take your time with the relative frequency stuff and the two-way frequency tables. I kind of like it because they're just logic puzzles, and they tell you a lot of information. So hope you're doing well. Give me some questions. I'm gonna assign some more assignments, and yeah, talk to you later. Bye.